If you were like me and just recently picked up a new iPad, you may be looking for a good keyboard to go with it. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why I think the Logitech Combo Touch is one of the best options you could go with. What's up, everybody? My name is Zach, and here on TechGear you'll find tech reviews, gear reviews, and some tips and tricks to help you out on your own YouTube journey. Find any of that kind of content interesting, be sure to stick around. When I decided to upgrade to the 12.9 iPad, I knew I wanted to get a keyboard to use alongside the new machine. With this 12.9 iPad having the larger screen size, the keyboard size is also larger, so more along the lines of like a 13-inch laptop keyboard. I do quite a bit of typing and scripting for the videos, so having a keyboard for the iPad means I have the opportunity to basically get work done anywhere. So I started researching and looking at options. I wanted something that would work seamlessly, so naturally you would think the Apple Magic Keyboard is the best one to go with. But then I ran across this Logitech Combo Touch, and it has features that I value much more than the Apple product itself. So what makes this thing so great? 3 quick reasons I want to go ahead and get out of here. One being that the Combo Touch is roughly about $110 cheaper than the Apple product. And I'm sure in this day and age, especially right now in the world, that saving money is probably on everybody's mind. Why would you want to spend more money when you don't have to? Second, and being one of the major reasons why I got it, is this thing is actually a case for your iPad as well as a keyboard. And what I mean by that is you could take the keyboard off of the iPad and your iPad will still be in a case. So that is huge for me. And third, this thing has just about, if not every feature that the Magic Keyboard has itself. So you kind of get everything for a cheaper price. Now, one thing that everybody would pretty much assume that Apple always makes the best product, and in fact they do make very good products, but that doesn't mean that this Logitech Combo Touch is not built well. And speaking of building well, the build quality is excellent. It has hard plastic edges and framing in it, with the outer finish of it being a soft fabric. So the edges all the way around, kind of like an iPhone case, has plastic all the way around it, and the framing of the case itself is plastic. It seems to be really sturdy, and one thing that I like about it is when putting the iPad in the actual iPad case, it is tight as crap. It almost takes 2 people to get it in there, which I like because there's no kind of slack to it at all. And the plastic edges help to keep the iPad safe. You know, it helps add like rigidity to it. And for the 12.9 model like I have, the case weighs 780 grams. It's also worth mentioning that this iPad case has cutouts on top and bottom for your speakers, your charger, and even your Apple Pencil. So this thing has a large cutout on the top of the iPad or the side of the iPad where you can magnetically still hook your pencil up. So there's no compromise by using this at all. They thought about everything. They even have holes for where the microphone and stuff picks up. So very, very easy to put on and not have to worry about anything. Now moving on to the star of the show, the keyboard. If you already own Apple products and like the typing experience with the ecosystem, then you will feel right at home with this thing. The keyboard on the Combo Touch really mimics the Apple typing experience, and that is something that I value a lot because I use a MacBook to edit my videos with. I've always used Apple products, and I'm used to the keyboards and like the keystrokes being roughly the same on all those devices, and the spreading of the keys being roughly the same. So I can adapt to something like this super easy, and I'm sure you can too. I really, really like the typing experience on this keyboard, and it allows me to go in between my iPad and my laptop with ease. It's kind of like my muscle memory just kicks right in. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, with this being the 12.9 iPad keyboard case, the keyboard is bigger. But one of the things I really like is the function bar across the top. So this thing has dedicated function keys that you don't have to hold anything down and hit. They're always on. There's no function F1 through F12 keys. Like right here you have your screen brightness, you've got keyboard brightness and audio controls from here out with a dedicated lock button. And I use that lock button all the time. It's so nice to just be typing and then something else come up I need to go do real quick. I don't have to swipe all over my iPad to get it done. I can just hit the lock button and it instantly locks it. So that is very cool, especially if you have like a child coming up about to type on it. You hit that quick lock screen and it locks the computer basically out. So that is really cool to have on the iPad and something that eliminates some time. Now, like you seen a second ago, the keyboard has dedicated backlighting. So with this thing plugged in using the smart connector, when the iPad is docked on it, you can adjust the keyboard brightness. And I believe there's 16 different levels, so plenty of adjustment there to get it dialed in for whatever, room brightness you're in. But that is super cool to have, and there's no battery in this thing. It all runs off the iPad's battery, which is very low input. It doesn't take hardly anything to run the keyboard. So it's crazy what technology has come to nowadays. The dedicated audio buttons is super nice too, because I also own a Windows laptop that only has volume up and down, but there's no other kind of play features at all. No stop, no pause, no next or previous, nothing, and it's so annoying. The trackpad at the bottom works really well. It supports all the gestures that you would find on like a Mac computer, so you can swipe up, swipe down, left, right to go through apps and stuff. There's a lot of flexibility with the trackpad itself, and it's pretty much nothing less than what you would expect from a regular Apple product. Now moving on, let's talk about the tablet mode. This is the reason I bought this. So when you have your iPad docked, and it's all one piece, keyboard and iPad together, you can open it up and lose the keyboard, but your iPad stays protected. And this is so big for me because I like to use my iPad a lot just for media consumption. You know, like for an example, set it up on the table while I'm eating dinner and have something to watch or watch YouTube videos. Being able to have the flexibility to go keyboard on, keyboard off, literally instantly, is just a game changer for me. And I know that the Apple Magic Keyboard is kind of the same thing, but when you take your iPad off, it's not protected. You know, when it sits on that dock, to my knowledge, you can't have a case on it. It's just not for me. But being able to have this protected even with raised edges around the iPad so you can lay it face down and not damage your screen is very thought out how they designed this. And then like things couldn't get any better, which you would need this for the keyboard aspect of it, but it's got a built-in kickstand. It's just awesome. I mean, you could prop your iPad up when you're using the keyboard to type and it looks like a laptop, or you can use it without the keyboard and consume media with your iPad standing up, all without taking the iPad out of a case at all. It's the way that it should have been built. Now the kickstand goes out 50 degrees, and also the back of the actual iPad case is made out of the same material as the back of the keyboard case. So when the iPad and keyboard are together and you have it shut, it's basically like a soft fabric on both sides. And I like it. It's a little grippy. It could be slick at times, just depending on, you know, if you have greasy fingers or something, it might feel slick. But there's some grip to it. So it's very easy to put the iPad in here and basically leave it. You never have to take it out of this case. And that is so nice. By this point, you've heard all the good reasons why you would need to pick one of these up, but it's not perfect. I do have a complaint with it, and it's very minor. There's nothing wrong with the device, but I feel like it's very hard to open. So when it's shut like this, it's taller on the iPad side, so you would initially think, since there's a lip there, you would be pulling on that, but that's actually pulling on the iPad side and not the lid or the keyboard side. It's kind of upside down, honestly. So I wish there was a little flap here, or like a tab, or somewhere where you could insert your finger and make it easier to open. That is one of the things that I find most frustrating with this keyboard. You know, even with it out like that on the desk, you go to pull it, and the magnet's so hard right there, you pull the whole iPad back. And I just think that if you just left a little gap there or something easier to get your finger on to open it, it would really make it that much better. But other than that, it is a fantastic keyboard case. And keyboard, the typing experience is fantastic on it. It's great. Bottom line, if you're looking for a good keyboard for your iPad, whether it be a new iPad you got or even an old one, and you want to upgrade to a keyboard, this has to be the best option to go with. And if you want to get the Apple Magic Keyboard, there's nothing wrong with that. But I find it hard to deal with whenever it costs that much more, and when you take the keyboard off of your iPad, it's unprotected. I hate that about it. So this is the best option for me, and I guarantee you if you was to pick one up, you would not be disappointed. So with that being said, if you would like to pick one up, I have a link down in the description. You can purchase through that, and it would help me out here on the channel. It won't cost any extra. And this is going to wrap up my review on the Logitech Combo Touch. I want to know what you guys think, though. So if you have any comments or questions, go down to the comment area and shoot it to me. I'd love to read about it. I want to know y'all's opinion on this, too. I'll see y'all in the next video.